What's happened, you bad motherfuckers? It's Wednesday, the 28th of April. We did it. We're almost fucking done. Fucking April showers bring May flowers, cocksuckers. But anyway, the joint is brought to you by DraftKings. Listen, the UFC was last week. I know you guys had a lot of action last weekend. We got just as much action this week. We got NBA. We got pro baseball, and I don't know if you know, DraftKings has one of the best fucking online casinos out there. That's why I'm with DraftKings, because they're the best. Do yourself a favor. Go down to DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and take a look at all the great things they're doing over at DraftKings. This is your fucking weekend right now. The NBA's heating up. The playoffs are coming. You know, you got Major League Baseball, and like I said, you got the Pro Fight League. They've got it all covered. They got boosts, they got parlays, they got fucking trifectas, they got it all. But it all starts by you downloading the best sportsbook app in the fucking world, DraftKings Sportsbook app. Right now, today, I have no special for you. All I'm telling you is DraftKings is fun, it's reliable, it's safe, and you get paid. So do yourself a favor. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and press in code Joey and start your fucking week off nice. Have a great weekend and have some fun. This is not gambling. This is fun. 20 here, 40 there, 50 here. And here's what I got to tell you, what the attorneys make me say, okay? Fucking Colorado, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, whatever the fuck. If you got a problem, fucking 1-800, don't do it. But if you don't have a problem, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now, and let's get this party started. It's time to make a little bacala. Not much. Listen, I'm not telling you to become a fucking degenerate gambler, but I'm telling you you're bored. You got your little fucking unemployment stipend there, and what better way to make a little money than DraftKings Sportsbook app? Go to DraftKings right now. Download the app and press code Joey. And tell them I sent you. They'll take care of you. The joint is also brought to you by Onnit. Listen to me. There's a little secret. Starting fucking Monday, they're having this semi-annual fucking sale. You understand me? They're having a blowout fucking sale. If you've been thinking of Alpha Brain, Shroom Tech, New Mood, the protein puffs, I mean, you know, Onnit doesn't stop. I mean, they have everything that I love. I just started drinking these new little fucking Verotech vitamin C. Just tremendous. Antioxidant support. I mean, it never ends. So do yourself a favor. Go to Onnit.com right now. Read. Take a look at what they have to offer. I can't do anything for you with club bats or kettlebells, but vitamins, supplements, food, I'll get you fucking 10% off. Do yourself a favor. Go to Onnit.com right now. Look, read, learn. They got great fucking supplements. Alpha Brain has brought me back. I started my fucking cycle again, and I'm having fucking dreams in color, but it's worth it because at least I'm tip-top Magoo, and that's what Onnit has for you. Is they're selling tip-top Magoo. If you don't like the Alpha Brain, you can keep it. And they let you keep it, and they'll send you your money back. That's a company that believes in the product. That's why you start with Alpha Brain and take it from there. If you like it, you're going to love New Mood. You're going to love the Shroom Tech Sport. You're going to love the Shroom Tech Immune. And they also have Alpha Brain in a powder to mix with your water so you can drink it while you're working out, while you're going for a walk, while you're doing jumping jacks, whatever the fuck you want. Go to Onnit.com right now and press in Joey Church and get 10% off delivered right to your motherfucking house, tip-top Magoo. Let's get this fucking party started. It's the joint, cocksuckers. It's Wednesday, the 28th of April. Prayers.
Come on in. Yeah, Joey's in the back.
Check 1, 2. Welcome to Uncle Joey's Joint.
What's happened, you bad motherfuckers? It's Wednesday, the 28th of April. Where the fuck did the month go? All I got to tell you is wash your dick before you fucking piss, because you don't want to give COVID to somebody in their mouth in case you get a little fucking... I just read, I swear to God, I don't know if it was a joke. I don't know if it was a fucked up article about some dude in Montana or something that got a rash on his penis, and they thought it was COVID. And I've been telling you motherfuckers, wash your goddamn hands. COVID cock, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Only in Montana. But
Manscaped wipes, right?
He needs something, but yeah, this is the way it is now. Just wash your fucking hands, please. We eliminated the flu. If you haven't noticed, we eliminated the fucking flu by washing your fucking hands. So the thing I read the most that fucked me up was that 80% of people are not showing up for the second shot. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. What are you fucking scared of? America, get your shit together. Even Joey went down there. The biggest pussy scared of needles went down there. Would I have gone there for a second shot? Not really, so I don't know what the fuck I'm complaining about. Because fucking 80% of people are not showing up. That's a fucking gigantic number. Do you understand me? So I don't know what the fuck you guys are thinking. I don't give a fuck. It's your world. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. Listen, it's over. It's time to fucking go out. We've been in the house for a fucking year, so watching fucking bad TV, bad podcasts, including this one, bad everything. So it's time to get out and get loose, motherfuckers. I think Biden yesterday said no more fucking masks. I got to double check that, but you know what? I'm going to wear my mask for as long as I have to. I want to double check. I don't want no fucking malukias. I don't want no misunderstandings. I don't want nothing. We've made it through this far. Fuck it, all right? I don't need to go anywhere. I'm sticking to my plans, you know? I'm fucking just enjoying the summer with my family. You know, it's so funny. They're opening up the store, and people are already running back to California. So this is going to be a very interesting thing to see, guys. I don't know what's going on. I don't really care. You know, when I moved, I left that world behind me. And I'm very happy I did. I mean, I have a couple. I talk to my friends. I check in with them. I know what's going on, but I'm really not aware of everything that's going on today. It's kind of weird. I've been caught up in this world in Jersey. I'm caught up with my family. You know, I'm caught up with my health. I'm trying to, you know, get a little stronger, make the podcast better every day. I've been writing a few jokes, and that's not bad. Nothing that's going to fucking blow your wig off your fucking head. I mean, there's nothing genius here. There's no Dave Chappelle, 8 minutes and 29 seconds. There's nothing. But I'm writing, and that's a start. That's something on the positive fucking note. And that's because I'm getting better with the guitar. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to bring back Zeppelin. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I could see myself feeling more comfortable with it. And it's like I've been telling you for years, guys. Nothing happens on the fucking couch. Nothing. I would love for something to happen on the couch. So, you know what I do? I don't even sit on the couch and I play my little fucking guitar. I come back here. I bring my little fucking laptop. I finally cleaned the screen. Thank you, guys. That's my war laptop. You know what I'm saying? That's got COVID. That's got VD. That's got a ton of shit on that screen. God knows what the fuck is on there. I finally wiped it down. But what happened was it wasn't really that bad. It was that the light in my other office just beams off it, and it made it look that bad. So I wiped it. You guys that are concerned, you're happy now. You know what I'm saying? I give you a lock, and all you're worried about is the fucking screen that's dirty. That's where your head is at. You know what I'm saying? So who gives a fuck? Today's podcast, today's guest is... My whole life changed in the early 90s. I mean, when I got on stage. I got a lot of guys on Patreon now that are, you know, thinking of doing comedy. A couple people have hit me up on Facebook, and it's interesting to read their emails. And I tell them all the same thing. Listen, guys, you're going up on stage for the first time. Nobody's going to expect Bill Burr to show up. Nobody expects Bill Burr to show up. Just get on stage. Listen, don't even worry about the material. I don't give a fuck if you get on stage and whistle for 10 minutes. Just get on stage. Usually it's going to be 3 minutes. And the first time you get on stage, every minute seems like an hour. You can't fucking believe it. You're like, I got 3 minutes. When is this portrait going to end? But you keep going. You keep showing up. and it takes you. It takes you. It took me 2 years to really understand what I was doing. That's why when I look at videos from other people, and sometimes at night after I do all my guitar homework, I'll go to a video. Like some guy last night was teaching how to play I Stay Away by Alice in Chains. Trust me, I looked at the video, my head almost blew up. It was confusing as fuck. It doesn't matter. I'm looking to see what's ahead. And eventually I will get there. I know I will get there because of my comedy background. You will get there. Put your head down, take the ear beatings, take the abuse, and keep going. Keep showing up. And eventually you will move up that ring. I will guarantee you. But 93 was a very crucial year for me. I was beat up in Boulder. I was all fucked up on drugs. It was the tail end. I mean, listen, I was fucked up on drugs my whole goddamn life, but this was one of those times when I was down and out. And I came to New York City. I go, when you're down and out and you are lost, you have to go back home. You have to find your way home, like I kind of did this time. I was a little lost. I was a little disoriented. I was doing great comedy-wise. The church was doing great, but I wasn't living the life I was living. So, when you usually do these type of things, it's to get strength again, I'm not saying I'm going to leave Jersey and get the fuck out of here once this all blows over. Not at all. What I'm saying is I came back here in 93 to get strength. And I started dabbling in comedy. I wanted to take a chance in New York, see what's going on. Listen, if it happens, if you could fucking make it happen in New York, you can make it fucking anywhere. That was my fucking thinking. So I started doing little spots in the city. A lot of people didn't want me to come back. I sucked that bad. But one place that was my home was the New York Comedy Club. It was owned by a gentleman named Al Martin. And he saw something in me. And he would let me come to the city whenever the fuck I wanted to. I mean, at that time, it was like Stand Up New York would let me do spots. The comic strip would just abuse me. And New York Comedy Club gave me love. And that was the start of many great things for me. But that was where I started to create comedy relationships. And one of the guys that befriended me at that time was Michael Bocchetti. He was a sweetheart to me. He taught me the ropes at the club. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that got me in there. And I would try to go down there anytime Mike was there. I think I had his number, and we would communicate and stay in touch. And it got to the point, well, I'll talk about it even in the Zoom, my friends would make fun of me. They were like, you suck. You should fucking be more like Mike Bocchetti. He's got jokes. You got no fucking jokes. It was mind-boggling what my friends are. But listen, my Jersey friends are like me. We're very fucking cut and dry. We're not going to blow smoke up your ass. They told me, you suck. So I was, in fact, a little jealous of Bocchetti, and I was like, how can I be jealous of this guy? I'll be there someday. That's when all that shit ended. I was like, there's no competition in this game. When you start competing with your friends is where you're going to fucking lose. And, well, they give everything to Mike. I don't get nothing. Work, bitch. Work. You want something? Work for it. They're not going to give it to you. Obviously, he's doing the right thing, and you're not, Joey. So by me being friends with Mike and me doing spots at the old Triple N, I actually put the pieces together to become a comedian. I went back to Colorado in October of 93 after about 8 months of doing spots at the New York Comedy Club and getting stronger. I still sucked, but I had a direction. And I never, ever, ever forgot Michael Bocchetti. I always was like, what the fuck ever happened to him? We went our own ways. Another guy that was lurking at that club in 93 was Jimmy Florentine. He was over there, and I did not know him. So that just goes to show you the people I was around. I was embarrassed. When you do comedy, make yourself a little comedy buddy, and you're going to realize I had a comedy buddy in New York, and then I went back to Denver, and I had Jimmy Abeda, and I had some other guys, Jeff Sargent, that were my comedy buddies there, and Rick Kearns and Todd Jordan. Then when I went to Seattle, I met Josh Wolf, and he was my comedy buddy. Whatever he got, I got. That's what you need. You need your support group, even with comedy. The point I'm getting to is, today I bring you Michael Bocchetti on Zoom. I know a lot of you motherfuckers don't want the Zoom, but hey, it's an interview. It's something different, and you get away from me for an hour. I'll be back. Don't worry about it. I'll be back. But right now, I want to introduce Michael Bocchetti. Enjoy our little short interview. Mike Bocchetti in the
Joe,
motherfucking house.
it's been a zillion and a half years, Joe. How are you? Welcome
Good,
back
my
to New
brother.
Jersey. Welcome
Oh.
back to New Jersey, first of all, and civilization where everybody will tell you F off.
Fuck, it's been great, man. It's great to be back. You are my oldest. If I think about it, you are my oldest comedy friend. You befriended me in 1991
Well,
at the New York Comedy Club.
oh yeah, and the thing is, you've always been a good guy to me because the thing is, Joe, this whole business changed from when we started because years ago you had to work your butt off, do tons of spots, right? You know what I mean? Get in, and now some imbecile on TikTok has 80 million hits and CAs all over them.
What are you gonna do? It's the way life is. You just listen. We pick our poison. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You could go on TikTok. You could go on Cameo. Whatever works for you. You know. I mean, if an agent wants, can you imagine that? You know how hard it is to get a fucking agent. And
Oh, God, yeah.
somebody does a video, they get 1 million hits, and an agent signs them, and then it's like the guy from fucking that movie, My Private Idaho, whatever that fucking movie, the guy with the shirt, Pablo, whatever that fucking guy name. Where the fuck did he go? He disappeared. He
I
did
know.
that one good movie. Will Ferrell picked him up for the other movie, and then he did a thing with Comedy Central, and it was so, you know, I'm sick and tired of Hollywood and all that shit not going with the people who put in the work. You watch these sitcoms.
Oh yeah.
It's failed sitcoms that go over and over and over. Once the sitcom goes down, why would you use this person, the same person that the sitcom went down with? He's the kiss of fucking death.
No, they don't care.
We got a new show on ABC, and it's the same 5 fucking faces, only reshuffled.
No,
So,
they don't care, Joe.
they don't get it. So when I watch TV at night, I go, that's fucking, you know, Mike Bochetti's spot. That's Jimmy Florentine should be playing that. You know, this guy, I hate when they say, well, he's a comedian. No, he's not. He's a comedic actor. There's a guy there with a camera and another guy that says cut. What we do is fucking raw.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's uncensored.
No, it's true because, and the thing is, Joe, I wanted to let you know, I'm still a Mr. Potato Head guy in this house.
You look good, though.
Thank you, because I
when
look
was
like
the
Mr.
last time
Potato
I
Head.
saw you, brother?
Oh, it's been a long, probably the early 90s, you think?
No, I saw you after that. Didn't you do a podcast with Artie or something?
Yeah, I did his podcast, but I think he was supposed to be on there, and then he had some anxiety issues, and then, you know, I think that's what happened, right?
That was what it was. It was this, right? Yes. You were doing a podcast with him.
Yeah, it was fun. I miss him. I haven't spoken to him because the sad thing is I don't have his current cell number, email, because he changes constantly all the time, and I can't get him.
You got to get away from the drug dealers.
I know.
You got to get away from, I wish him.
Joe,
I wish him all the love in the world. I love that guy with all my fucking heart. And,
me too.
I know that you New York comics love him with all. He's a breath of fucking fresh air, you know.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure that everybody just wants him to get well.
We all do because, Joe, I've been sober 24 years now. St. Patrick's Day, I haven't touched a drink.
Was that your poison, alcohol?
Oh, it was horrible, Joe. I would be, if I was still drinking now, you would be grabbing me by my ankles out of a bar someplace and throw me in the back of the car because I would become such an idiot when I drank.
Did you go to meetings? Did you go to rehab?
No.
Stopped?
I just stopped my own. I was very blessed because my dad went to AA for years. He was a big believer in that. You know what, Joe? Whatever it takes to get you well again. You know what I mean? If you need meetings, perfect. You know, to work for you. I just did it on my own, but my dad was a big believer in AA. And the thing is, if it works for you to get you well, that's the most important thing.
Do you miss it?
Once in a while, like I'll go to a deli and I'll be like, see a Foster's Lager or a Budweiser or anything. I'm like, I need one of those cold bad boys now. You know what I mean?
Now, how would you feel if you just had one beer with a sausage and pepper sandwich? Would you feel you relapse? Do you think it would become a problem? I mean,
it would be a problem, Joe, because that one would lead to me drinking 12 more, sleeping outside of 7-Eleven.
You know, my demon was cocaine.
Well,
and I know for a fact that I could never. Once I quit it, and I was off it for 3 weeks and whatever, and then it turned into 3 months, then it turned into 3 years. I always believed that if I ever touched it again, I would just die. Like in my world,
Whoa.
I think if I cut a line of cocaine up and snort it, I would fucking die on the spot. That's what my belief is.
No, you're right, because and it's so scary, Joe, that people can let themselves get that addicted to stuff. It's really hard. I mean, Joe, I just turned 60 and I lost family, friends that were way under 30 to addiction, drug and alcohol, and I don't even know how I made it this far, and so many other people I know died half my age.
I just had surgery and they gave me oxycodones.
Oh no.
And I read all about it. I checked in with 2 junkies that I knew, and I talked to them about it, about pill use. I had a friend that had a problem with pills. I talked to him about it. And he told me that the big thing, that there's a difference between oxycodone and Oxycontin.
Oh, really?
Oxycontin is the one that comes in a shell and people break it and snort it, I guess. I don't fucking know. I had the little 5 milligrams, and it was never fun. They were okay for 2 or 3 days. And then I felt how they took over my body. They made me very emotional. And
oh, no.
Yeah, it was a fucking nightmare. And I'll tell you
No,
what.
you don't need that nightmare again. No. Oh, no. Thank God.
I did them for, I stopped on the oxys, and I started breaking them in half. I would do everything I could just to stay ahead of the pain. And then I told them I had 13 oxys left. That's it. It's over. Cut me down. They cut me down to Vicodin. And I didn't do them for like the first 2 days, and then I did a couple of them, and they're still in the fucking drawer. That's it. It's over.
Good.
I just didn't want to get rehooked on anything at 50-8.
No, because I mean, not only that, Joe. The thing is, it's horrible to be hooked to anything. I mean, the only vice I have now is food. I got to wash myself. I mean, I like to eat, but I mean, that's bad too if you're not careful.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I moved to New Jersey, I knew one thing. I know that I could blow up to 400 pounds within 90 days.
Wow.
And once I got here, I did put on like 20 pounds right off the bat. I put on 20 pounds because everywhere you go, somebody's handing you a slice of pizza. There's always fucking pizza everywhere in Jersey. You go to any party, you go to a kid's party, they got pizza. And I live in South Jersey, and I'm surrounded by Staten Island and Brooklyn. These motherfucking Italians aren't fucking around. They argue about pizza. They bring it from Staten Island.
They're crazy.
So
I know.
I
Joe,
got up.
they're like handing out calzones at the Balen Bridge over there.
I knew it. And between the Chinese food, the fucking Cuban food, the Italian food, I knew I would blow up to 400 pounds. So I went on Weight Watchers, even double than what I was doing in L.A. Like, I don't even use butter anymore. Like, that's how scared I am. I lost maybe 20 pounds during the surgery. Just sticking
God
to
bless
my
you.
points.
How you feeling now?
I feel good. The knee bothers me from time to time, but you know what? You take a couple Tylenols, you put some ice on the knee, and it's way better than anything else you could fucking do.
Absolutely.
Ice is fucking tremendous. How much comedy were you doing at the time of the pandemic?
You know what, Joe? It's kind of weird because one weird thing about me is I backed off a little bit. I started working more acting stuff. I've taken a class for like 14 months now with Richard Klein. It was awesome. Larry from Three's Company.
Okay.
I've been taking a lot of improv comedy classes, dramatic improv. But I was doing stuff, in fact, what's crazy? Today's been such a blessing being on your show. I also today have my CD on Sirius XM all day today. Good. What a blessing it is. It's like you on here now and then with them. So when it rains, it pours, Joe. Am I right or wrong, right?
Mike, man, we've done it all. You have nothing to prove. It's weird when you've done something for 10 years and then you do something for 20 years. And now we're both like seasoned fucking veterans. This is 30 years. And you have all these decisions to make, and for you, it was getting into a dramatic improv class to make yourself better. this comedy game, what most people at home don't understand is that we're always growing. We're always doing things to grow. We tried a podcast. We grew with it. You know, for some comics during the pandemic, they went on TikTok. That works for them. You know,
Absolutely.
I don't know anything about it. God bless all the comics that made it through this pandemic. They had to switch their game up. They had to do fucking, Zoom shows. I had to move. I had to pick up and reroute and restart everything. And look, we're here today. We're here today.
Well, you have to take a couple of steps back to make some forward.
Yes, absolutely. And I took a little chunk out of my life, and the stand-up hurts a little bit. That it's at half capacity and all that shit. I got my shots. I'm good.
How do you feel?
I feel like $1 million. I got it on Monday.
Oh, good. I got to get my second one in a few weeks, but how do you feel with the first one? I felt like I was.
I got a Johnson and Johnson.
Oh, nice, good.
And I got to tell you, it was painless. I want to complain. I would wish I would complain to you. Like, I'm one of those guys. Don't go down there. They're gonna fucking hurt you. They were the nicest people in the world. I didn't feel it. I felt a little weird that night. I took the Tylenols, how they recommended. I stayed hydrated. That's the most important thing, to keep drinking fluids.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'll be, 90%. At least if you get it now, you're not going to end up in that bad a shape, they say. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I was afraid to get into it first because I was like, what about the side effects? But you know what, Joe? We got to end it somehow and back to normal. You know what I mean? You got to take a chance.
Well, man, this pandemic has taught us a lot.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't learned anything during this pandemic, especially about yourself, what you can do, and what we've realized we can do. Like, we realized a lot of things that we had to move forward. Stand-up ended. What the fuck do you want me to do? No clubs are open. What are you going to do? You're going to stand on a corner and do stand-up until somebody throws a bottle at you? So you had to reroute your energies during this. For me, I got together with a partner finally and started writing a book.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
For me, I got together with Mike. I got a new producer, and we started this from scratch, and fucking people hated me, and but I didn't give a fuck. I wanted to start over. I felt bored. I felt I was in my comfort zone, which is never too good.
No,
it's great to be in a comfort zone.
That's how you get lazy, right? Absolutely.
It was too easy. I created a paradise in LA for myself. I created the paradise that I wanted to, and then it became easy. Like, it was too boring. I drove 2 blocks to do a podcast. I drove 8 blocks to do a set. I drove 2 blocks to the gym, 2 blocks to cryotherapy,
Wow.
2 blocks to the weed store. I created this little fucking thing in Studio City.
You had your own village.
I had my own little fucking village, and then this pandemic hit. Me and my wife had always spoken about moving back here. We had been speaking about it since 2016. We were going to move back here anyway. This just sped up the fucking process. And I tell you what, I'm happy I fucking did it. I feel better. I am better. I'm a way better person.
That's the important thing. That's the most important thing you just said, because, Joe, I never lived in LA. I was out there on and off for years, right? I liked it. For some reason, they got my comedy out there for some reason, more than New York.
They did.
For some reason. I don't know, Joe. I mean, I was going to ask you, right? It seems like they like different stuff in LA more than New York does.
Well, it depends where you go. When you're in Hollywood, let's say you're at the Improv, the Laugh Factory, or the Comedy Store. You have to assume there's industry in the room, some type of industry, whatever. And that messes with comics' heads. When you first get to LA, you're thinking somebody's watching you that could change your life. Then you realize that nobody could change your life but you. Or you have to be fucking funny. That's what happens to people in LA. When you first go to LA, you go on stage thinking fucking Johnny Disney's here.
Oh,
gonna
of
fucking
course.
put me in the next fucking Coco. No.
No.
And even if he's there, whatever, you have to perform to make them laugh. That's the confusion. A lot of people go to LA to become stars. I went to LA just to be a comic. And I didn't even want to do that. Like, I didn't think I would survive in LA, Mike Bocchetti. I mean, the last time I saw you, we were doing spots at the New York Comedy Club. I had taken a stand-up writing class there, an 8-week course. The guy was great. I bumped into him 20 years later in L.A. He was a writer on a TV show. I think it was Al Martin who owned the club, right? When we were working.
Oh, Al does. Yeah, he definitely did at that time. Absolutely.
Does he still own it today?
No, another guy does today. Al
Okay.
Emilio owns it for like probably 6-7 years. But no, that's where I met you because. But the thing is, Joe, you got me right away, comedy-wise, right? And the thing is, being unique and different like I was, some comics chastise me in New York. They're like, "Oh, he's not mainstream like Seinfeld or whoever." You know what I mean? And even industry people, they see something different come along. They're like, "Oh, what is this?"
Well, I mean, listen, Mike, you want to be different. I would love to be John Mulaney. I would love for my comedy to be Bill Burr's. We all aspire to do something, but at the end, you have to be yourself.
That's the key to comedy, Joe, in life.
That's the key to comedy. And when people tell you that in the beginning, there's a lot of young comics that listen to this show. It's such a cliche bullshit line when people say it to you. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. And you're like, I'm an asshole. I'm a fucking retard. What are you talking about, be myself? What are you talking about? And then you understand it, that what they're looking for is what you bring to the game, that little different aspect. My stand-up is very untraditional. It's not Bill Burr.
Me either. I'm not a
John-
monologist. You know what I mean? I'm not that kind of comic. I know.
No, and you were very funny.
Thank you, Joe.
From
So
the
you
beginning.
because you're yourself like I am because I watched your podcast. The thing I like about you is there's no nonsense with you. Like everybody like cowers into people, Joe. They're like, oh my God. They're like, if the curse agents are gonna like me. You know what I mean, right? You don't. You're like you went on anyway. You didn't care because they did or not.
Tell him, shut the fuck up, cocksuckers. I'm doing a podcast.
I know. I told them that earlier. Sorry.
How many kids you got? Are they kids?
Oh no, my family's here to visit me.
Okay, good. How many people over there?
Oh, we got like 4 or 5. And Joe, we got a 5-pound Chihuahua upstairs. My brother's dog.
A 5-pound Chihuahua. What are you, the Mexican?
No, but the thing is, she thinks she's a 90-pound Rottweiler.
Fuck. But what was really interesting about our relationship that I never told anybody, that's why when you reached out, I'm like, you know what? This is perfect to tell podcast people because they learn. I want the young comics to learn that this is where I learned it. In 1991, obviously, as you remember, when you performed at the New York Comedy Club or any other club in New York, you had to bring a few people. You had to bring a few people. So, God blessed me with great friends growing up in Jersey, that supported me. They were in shock that I was doing comedy.
My family too.
I really met you in 93, not 91. 91 is when I started. 93 is when I met you. March of 93. I lived in New York. I came back here. I was having such a problem in Boulder. And I said, let me go back to New York and give this problem some space.
Joe, I thought you were in the mob when I first met you. You look like a tough guy when you're young.
When I got down it.
I thought you were a mafia member when I first seen you.
I was raw back then. When I first met you in 93, I was still doing some crazy shit. Yeah. But I had to bring people all the time to the shows, and you would always be there. And my friends, till this day, still love you. There's one guy that still says, because you used to have a line that said, you work in a bakery, you're in charge of the tarts.
Oh, can I say it for you? I haven't said it in years, but thank you.
What was the joke?
I worked in a handicap bakery. They put me in charge of the tarts.
Oh my God. Look at that. 28 years later, I still fucking remember this because on the way home, my friends would be torturing me. They're like, you got to be more like Mike Bocchetti.
Well, Thank you, because
They're like, you suck. You got to be more like Mike. And I'm like, you cocksuckers. So for the first couple days, I'm like, God damn it, I was kind of jealous of you. And then I'm like, bro, I got to do what he's doing. He's different. He's not doing what anybody else is doing. That's what my friends were telling me. So at first, I was jealous of you. I'm like, fucking Mike Bocchetti. My friends would say to me, you got to be more like Mike. And I'm like, fuck you, fuck Mike. What do you mean I got to be more like Mike? Michael Jordan? Mike? What Mike are you talking about?
that's funny because, but the thing is, at the end of the day, when I first started, I went to Pips in Brooklyn, besides New York Comedy Club, right? And God rest his soul, I was up there. And
What was his name?
Seth.
Seth.
Seth Schultz, right? I went there. I was very dirty at the time, Joe. I was wearing a black leather jacket. This is what he told me. Speaking about being yourself, he said, I can see you totally love Andrew Dice Clay, which I still do to this day. But you know what he told me? You can't be him and he can't be you. You got to be yourself in this.
And that stayed with you.
Yeah.
That stayed with you for a long fucking time, Mike.
Joe, I actually met him years ago. And when I first met, I want to tell you a funny story about him. I met Andrew Dice Clay in 2005 for the first time at Caroline's, right? Jim Florentine introduced me to him with Don Jameson. They were opening for him at the time, right? And I went over to him, Joe. I was like a 9-year-old kid at a New Kid from the Block concert, like so excited to meet him. And he broke my balls the first time. And I'm like, whoa, But then I met him a couple of times. But Joe, he became a good guy to me. When I was at an audience show, he hugged me, right? And he told me, I became a fan of yours now after watching you. And that like blew my mind to hear that because, Joe, for 30 years, I watched him. And for him to tell me that, it was like winning an Emmy.
Mike Bocchetti, I came out of prison, and for New Year's Eve, they put me in a halfway house when you get out of prison. And for New Year's Eve, I rented out the room in the halfway house. I think they charged me $50, and I played his special for people.
Whoa.
The one from Philadelphia, the one that blew him up,
Oh, yeah.
So you and I were both products of Andrew Dice Clay. I mean, I was a product of Richard Pryor. I loved Richard Pryor.
Oh, Richard's nobody like him.
Andrew was who pushed me onto the stage because when I saw Andrew, I said to myself, Jesus Christ, this motherfucker is saying what I think.
Oh, yeah.
What I think on a daily basis, this fucking guy is repeating. So I have a chance at this because I'm not the only one that thinks this way. When somebody comes up to you, would you like to buy a flower for the lady? Why don't you take that flower and let me plant it in your ass? All that shit, that's the way I used to think, but I couldn't let people know that. Like, I lived in Colorado and people were nice and stuff, and I'd be like, what the fuck? In my mind, I'd be thinking like Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, it's a lot different there, Joe. Like other parts of the country, they're laid back and chilled out, and like you can't be Joe Pesci in Idaho. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. But Andrew, for me, was like the first year that I saw him at the store, I did not have the balls to go up to him. For all you people at home that think that you go up to people, I didn't approach Andrew Dice Clay, even though I was a regular at the store and doing spots in front of him, following him. I would go up at 1 and he would go up at fucking 10. I didn't have the balls to go up to him. One night he came up to me to settle an argument. And I chimed in, and that's how we became friends.
Wow. Because, Joe, I don't like approaching famous people at all. I get very, laid back, you know what I mean? Because unless I know them or get introduced to them, because I don't know how they are as people, first of all. You know what I mean, right? And second of all, if you're working on stuff you've done, I mean, it's not time to take out a Hawaiian shirt and take a million pictures of these people. We're doing stuff with them. And regular people don't get that sometimes.
How long did you stay at the New York Comedy Club after I left? How many years were you there?
Oh God, I was there. I left there back in 1999, but I haven't been there probably 3 or 4 years. But it changed a lot. I mean, physically.
I mean, it's fucking. I sit here, I'm looking at you, and I still see that same kid from fucking 28 years ago. It's just.
It's so great to
Crazy.
see you. It's been forever because,
It's great to see you too, man.
and Joe, we have a couple of friends in common that I love that we know for years. Someone wanted me to tell you hi, actually. What do you call it? Christy Miller.
How is she doing?
She's really cool because she talked about it. She goes, I love Diaz because from the Comedy Store. And you know who else was very cool to me to try to help me reach out to you? Felicia Michaels, who I know for a million years.
Great lady. Great lady. I'm going to give her a call today, as a matter of fact. I haven't spoken to her in a few weeks, and I was wondering where the fuck she's been. But yeah, they're both solid motherfuckers, dog.
Joe, I went to the Comedy Store. The only place I ever went to in LA to do spots when I was out there was the Improv in LA. I'd never been on at the Factory or the Store. I went to the Comedy Store like 5 years ago, right? Just to hang there. You know who I ran into? And they were so nice to me there. Martin Lawrence. I ran into him outside, and he talked to me for like 20 minutes because all I said to him, Joe, was, I loved you on the TV show, Martin. That's all I had to say to him, right? We just talked about everything but comedy for like 20 minutes. One of the coolest people I've ever met in my life.
You know, it's really weird when you have a great experience with people. You know, I mean, you went up to Martin Lawrence, you didn't know what he was going through. You didn't know if his wife served him with divorce papers that day. You didn't know if his kid spilt milk on his fucking stereo. People don't know the moment before you see that celebrity, what they're thinking. And, you know, you approach people, you know, you try. Like, I remember seeing Richard Gere, and I fucking hated him at the time, but I didn't have the balls to go up to him. I would never think of going up to him. But it is pretty nice. Like, the other day I went to get a cheesesteak. And as I was walking in, some guy looked at me and he goes, "Is that you?" And I go, "It depends who you think it is." He was an African American kid, really sweet kid. You know, didn't ask for a picture. At that time, I didn't have the COVID shot, you know, so I wouldn't take a picture anyway. But we had such a pleasant little conversation, 12-minute conversation about comedy. We shook hands and we left. He felt good about the conversation, and I felt really good about the conversation. It's the conversations where people try to get too much from you, I think. Because I've been on a set of movies where I've been talking to a major star about, you know, what's going on at the moment there. It's not like I'm telling them about my personal life or that I smoke pot or whatever. I'm asking them about a scene in a movie or something, and I've seen how they are. You know, I've seen how they've reacted to me. They're short, they're long, they're into it, you know, and I never judged them. You know, that's why it kills me when people go, "I worked on a movie and I worked with Justin Bieber. Oh my God, he's so cool." You dumb fuck. You saw him for 2 days, for 3 hours. You know,
That's it.
you
you really don't know them, like you said, because Joe, you said earlier, it makes so much sense because when you meet somebody, you do not know what went on in their life that day.
No. You have no fucking idea. You know, I spent 17 weeks with Adam Sandler.
Whoa.
I'll go up in front of a fucking Bible, put my hand on it, and I'll, you know, testify in open court that he was one of the best bosses I ever had in my life. And he was a great guy. But I was around him for 17 fucking weeks, 6 days a fucking week.
Wow.
I got to see him on his bad days. I got to see him on his good days. And he was a gentleman at every fucking single opportunity.
Joe, I never met him, but I'm a huge fan of him as well in his movies. And I don't know, sometimes you can't lie who you are on camera. You know what I mean? For some reason, it's like, I mean, I picture all the characters he plays, you know, that's part of him. And I picture he must be a cool guy like that. You know what I mean? Because certain people, you can't hide it sometimes.
No, you know, when I think of him in real life, I think the picture that reflects who he is the most is 50 First Dates. I really liked him in the 50 First Dates. I didn't watch any of his earliest stuff. I watched I'll be honest right now, you know, I watched Happy Madison and I didn't like it. I didn't like that style of humor, so I didn't become an Adam Sandler fan till I worked for Adam Sandler. And then I watched every movie, and I watched it from a different perspective. I had heard there were some problems on the set of Happy Madison where even the director didn't like what was going on. And he went in and complained about him, and they fired him. And so I was never, I didn't hate Adam Sandler. I just didn't like his movies at the time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah.
Once I read for him, met him, it was fucking like a breath of fresh air because he really, I don't know how to say this, he ruined the curve. That's what I'm trying to say because I thought that everybody was going to turn out to be like Adam, and boy, was I wrong.
Oh no, he's untouchable.
No,
Unique,
I've worked
right?
with some fucking douchebags that people think are great people. You know, people, if you talk to them, oh, that person's so great. I've been on the set with them for 2 weeks. That person's a fucking scumbag. I won't say that because it's not for me to say.
Oh, of course.
But I've worked with some fucking great. I was watching, what's that show? I'm Dying Up Here. You know, it's on Showtime. It's about the Comedy Store. The lady who's the star of that movie, who plays Mitzi Shore per se.
I never met her, Joe. I was dying to meet her forever. I never got the pleasure of meeting her.
Not Mitzi Shore, but the lady who plays Mitzi Shore and I'm Dying Up Here. I did 2 episodes of that show, and I had to spend a day with her, like 4 hours in a room. It was just me and her having a conversation, but something had happened, so her and I got stuck in this room talking. And I'll tell you what, it was a fucking. When I left there, my dick was hard because she was everything I thought she could be. Like, she was sweet, she was fucking smart. You know, when I looked at her, the first 2 takes I did with her, and I'm not ashamed to say this, I fucked up just from looking at her. You get intimidated.
Of course, you lose your motor skills.
Yeah, you get intimidated. You're like, this fucking person. She played opposite Denzel Washington in The Equalizer. She played on this.
It blows your mind because
it blows your mind. And here you are doing lines with her, and you're just a dirty comic from the fucking Comedy Store from Jersey. I'm just a dirty fucking comic from Jersey, so I'm sitting there going, and she was so sweet to me. Like I love to write a book of the actors who saved my fucking life on the set. I did SVU, that lady Marissa, whatever.
Haggerty, right? I think
was fucking tremendous. She was tremendous. It was the coldest day ever in New York City, and it was me and her. And she's like, "Why are you standing out here? Come in here with me." And I'm like, "This is tremendous." I'm in a hallway with this fucking girl from SVU, and she's talking to me, and she's being nice and sweet.
Some people are just great people all around.
Some people are, and you know what? When to be a good actor, to be a good comic, to be a good, to be good at those things, you have to have a great side of humanity to you.
You got to be a good human, is right.
You have to, to get the good results from comedy, you got to pull the younger people up.
Of course.
You got to help them. Listen, I bumped into 200 scam artists in the last 10 years that thought that by coming on a podcast, it was going to change their life. I'm not talking about those guys.
I was talking to your producer about that earlier. Joe, how much have you been annoyed by people? That's why I was very cautious when I reached out to you, because I know you had an army of animals harassing you like, "Joe, what's up, baby? Hey, pal." You know what I mean? All kinds of nonsense from idiots.
Well, you know the Hollywood scene. You know, everybody's your buddy, everybody's your pal. It's like life. When you got a bag of blow, it's tough to have enemies. You know what I'm saying? If you show up with a big bag of blow, everybody loves you. They forgot about all your fucking past discrepancies and everything. You know, I helped the people who I saw were helping themselves. If I saw a girl like Carmen Morales busting her ass at the store, I reached out to her. If I saw, Jessica Wellington at the store fighting for her life, I reached out to those young comics, because I was one of those comics at one time. And all I needed was something to give me a glimmer of hope for 90 days.
Oh, yeah. Because
when you're a comic, when you're in the arts, when you're a human being, you need a glimmer of hope every 90 days to give you hope for the next 90 days.
Easily, because, Joe, the best thing I like about Sandler is he brought Henry Winkler back to life. Not back to life, because you know why? People still knew the Fonz and Henry for years. Maybe not on screen, but he was producing and directing stuff. But he helped give him a whole new generation of people to know him again.
And that's what this is all about at the end of the day. you know, when people get mad at Joe Rogan for getting $100 million fucking deal, and now they're pissed off at him and this and
What are
Spotify,
idiots?
they don't understand that he lifted up 200 fucking comics.
They're morons. You know why? Because they just, first of all, they just want to look. This has been my philosophy in life. Okay, when something bad happens to you, whatever, you know, if you can control it and change it, do it, right? But if it's out of your control, just live with it and try to move on, and that's it. Because don't be a crybaby. You don't sit on your ass and complain and rag about other people. Just keep going.
I knew the people that I saw people at the Comedy Store. I saw people at the Improv. I saw people at the Ha Ha. I saw comics that they had that look in their eye, and I would say to them, "Hey, you want to come on the podcast?" And I would see them, you know, do things afterward, and it would make my dick hard.
Well,
I hate when people think that, well, by going on a podcast, it's gonna change your life. That's the people I didn't want on my podcast.
no, they think they're going to be in 20 movies after this.
I didn't
you know
want
what I mean,
those
right?
people. Those are the same people that think that if you go on Rogan, you're gonna get a Hollywood deal. No, those are not. You're not gonna get a Hollywood deal. When I went on Rogan, I knew it would give me a light, but now that light, I had to fill it. I had to fill
Yeah,
it.
of
I had
course.
to prove myself after that. And
Yeah.
some people came on for the ride, and some people didn't. You know.
Of course, Joe. People think, you know, it's going to be one thing that's going to put you over the top. It's a, I mean,
It's
I'll
a-
give you, it's not.
What were you gonna say? You'll give me an example.
Oh, Joe, I wanted to tell you one quick funny thing. I was in the movie The Family with Robert De Niro.
Okay.
I was up for one of the roles of an FBI agent guarding him. I was in callbacks with it. I didn't get it, but the director, Luc Besson, liked me a lot. He casted me as a Hasidic Jewish guy being held up at gunpoint by De Niro. Listen to this, Joe. I got to the set that day. Hello, I'm sorry. I got to the set that day, right? My heart stopped when I see De Niro on the set, right? Joe, I didn't talk to him at all. I minded my business, right? Then he started laughing with me, right? On the set. Joe, I mean, working with people like him, and you work with Sandler, they have such an energy. I mean, when you're doing a scene with them, they pull you in like a vacuum.
It's crazy.
It's so hard to explain. Like, Joe, you get on the set with Adam, he pulls you in like a vacuum acting wise. Am I right or wrong? Like Sandler, like De Niro pulled me in. Like when I was in the scene with him, I seen Jimmy Conway come out of him. I seen all kinds of characters come out of them on that scene. It was mind blowing.
I've said the same story about him, that when I did a scene with him, the first time he came up to me, it was like cut the first two scenes, because you see Jimmy Conway, you see Taxi Driver, you see all these you see all these characters that he played. But I'm gonna tell you something. When I did Grudge Match with him, I went to the set the day before I was supposed to shoot just to look around. You know me, we're hustlers. You got to go down there and see what the fuck's going on. So I went down there, and it was so funny. I watched him and LL Cool J do their first scenes together.
Wow.
They were talking. They were, having a great time. Next thing you know, cameras are on them. Sure enough, first 2 or 3 scenes, LL Cool J couldn't focus. And then I was like, that's weird. They were just having a great time. The next day when I did my scene with him and it happened to me, that's when I realized why it happened to LL Cool J. Because once you're focused with those guys and it's just you and him, you're like, oh my God, this is the guy from fucking Goodfellas. This is the guy from Godfather 2. This is the guy from Mean Streets. And it just fucks with your head. It's like, I believe that that's what happens to people before they fight Conor McGregor.
Oh, yeah.
They psych themselves out and they forget what the fuck is going on. Conor McGregor is just a human being. He's a great fighter, but he's just a human being. That's what I think happened to Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier fought him the first time, got caught up by the lights and the glamour, went down. The second time, he knew what happened to him, exactly what not to fall for, and he beat him. He attacked him. I'm not putting anybody down here. I'm just stating what I think happens to you.
Of course, because it's concentration and focus. Because, Joe, that's like a boxer getting in the ring with Ali, and I'm thinking I'm going to have a bologna sandwich for dinner. He'll murder you. You know what I mean?
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Mike Bocchetti, I'm happy that you reached out.
I'm so glad you have. Thank you for having me, Joe.
to
Because
come on the
it's
show.
been a million years. Because first of all, Joe, I have a funny feeling after this, comics are going to be like, "Dude, what's up?" Now people are this.
I don't give a fuck. You know,
I
I
don't
love
care
comedians.
either. That's why I'm on here.
I just I wanted the world to know that you and I go back to
Thank you, Joe.
1993. I want the world to know that I was jealous of you at one time because I'm not a fucking, I tell it like it is. I was very jealous of you until I saw what you were doing and you
Thank
opened
you.
up my eyes. So
It's so good. I would love to see you in person when we can, because once this thing is over, I'm getting my final shot the 17th. I hope to see you live. That'll
what
be cool.
clubs do you usually go to in New York City?
Whoever will put me up.
Which ones so far?
I like first of all, New York Comedy Club, Gotham. I did stuff at the West Side, which opened recently, Stand Up New York, and Caroline. So I love those. The rest of them,
All right.
But Joe, it was so incredible to see you virtually. Anyway,
Hey, well, I'll take this and give it a month, and I'll see you somewhere in the city and give you a hug. Deal?
Thank you, Joe. I love you, buddy. Thank you
Mike
for having
Bocchetti,
me.
thank you for being
Joe, when
my
does this
oldest friend in comedy.
When does this come out? Soon? A few days?
Soonish. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you, Joe.
All right.
Thank you. You're the
Stay
best. Have a
black
great
and beautiful,
day.
cocksucker.
Thank you for everything. Bye.
Love you.
Thank you, Joe.
What's happening, you bad motherfuckers? I hope you enjoyed our little chit-chat, our little tete-a-tete with my main man, Michael Bocchetti. It was great to, it's been years. So I wanted to show you guys that I had roots even back in New York in the early 90s. I just didn't fucking show up here, guys. This is all based on hard work and boredom and abuse and fucking, drug use and drug abuse. There was a bunch of things involved here. But I realized I ended up getting to a plateau. But it all started with the things I learned in 93 and Michael Bocchetti befriending me and letting me know that I was on the right fucking path. Listen, I want to thank you guys for a great week of podcasts, a great month of podcasts. We tried our best. We're trying to get the feel. I know a lot of you don't like the Zoom. I know a lot of you like me straight up, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We have another great Zoom for you next week and another great podcast. I'm not even going to tell you who it is, and we're going to keep moving fucking forward because that's what we do. If you want more of Joey Diaz, I'm on Patreon. The NFTs are coming soon. I'm going to be doing them through Patreon and probably putting them online. So we got a little couple things going on for you motherfuckers that have been bugging me. We have an interested publisher. So hopefully this week we'll have a little conference call with a publisher for the book. At least we're getting there. There's been no offers made, nothing like that. But I just want to let you know that this is what I've been doing during this period. Every day, 3 days a week, me and Eric are talking. For you guys, listen, I always put pictures up of edibles to fuck with you guys. My friends send me edibles. They come back. They bring me edibles. I'm not doing anything. It's so weird how I haven't even smoked today. That's how crazy it is. I was talking to Rogan the other day, and I'm like, Rogues, I'm smoking a fucking third of what I was smoking. And I had some shit. I went out to dinner with a friend of mine Sunday night. It was like we had nothing to do, and next thing you know, me and my wife were headed to dinners with different fucking people. It was great. And I went to a restaurant and took my mask off, and I was sitting in there, and there was a couple of people in the restaurant. So I kind of felt weird. Right away, you get like a fucking sore throat. You come home and you're like, I got a sore throat. I was, your mind plays tricks on you. So I smoked that night, and fucking my lungs started. I'm like, fuck, I got COVID now. Because you could still get COVID even if you get the vaccine. It's just not so severe. Yeah. But the numbers are down to 0.9 or whatever. Who gives a fuck? Listen, there's a light at the tunnel. We made it through. I was here with you guys since last March doing podcasts. I took 1 month off, and I stuck it out with you motherfuckers. And I let you know, if you listen to those podcasts from March and April, the church of 2020, you'll know I was telling you that this day was always coming. We just had to be patient, take care of ourselves, stay safe, and we're here. That's it. We're going to have a great fucking summer. Have a great week. I want to thank all my sponsors this week. DraftKings, Onnit, CBD Line. Don't forget to register for the PlayStation and ZipRecruiter. They were great. They're always great. I love my fucking sponsors. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for enjoying it. And we'll be back Monday, May 3rd. Tip Top Magoo, the beginning of a whole new fucking month. I love you, cocksuckers. Have a great week and a great weekend. You know where to find me. Love you. All right, cocksuckers. I want to thank Mike Bocchetti. I want to thank Onnit. But most importantly, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank DraftKings. I want to thank you guys for listening, for enjoying, for trying something new. You know, I'm fucking swinging for the bats here. I'm trying myself, guys. This is all new for everybody. But before we go, listen to me. It's going to be a quiet weekend. People aren't looking to fucking do anything. This is the perfect time to hit DraftKings because they're not hyping anything. You understand me? Nice and easy. The NBA's right there for you. You're getting ready for the NBA playoffs. You got Major League Baseball. The lines are still a little fucking light. You could pick yourself a winner. You know, if you're having problems, look up the Danny B Sports. Go to look at the Philly Godfather for help. Whatever the fuck, whoever can help you. I'm not telling you that you're going to go make $1 million on DraftKings. What I'm telling you, it's fun. You keep it fun. If you want to go on there, they got one of the best online casinos in the fucking world. Listen, DraftKings Sportsbook app is one of the best fucking apps out there to gamble on that you could ever want in your life. So do me a favor. Download it right now today. Press in code Joey and get your motherfucking party started. You're like, Joey, what are you talking? You're going to get your party started light. Maybe Friday night an NBA game. Maybe Saturday a little Major League Baseball game. Sunday night they got that Major League Baseball on ESPN. You can bet the game while you're watching. I'm not telling you to bet 500 or 600. I'm not trying to create a problem here. All I'm telling you is to look at it as a way to have fun. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Take a look at what the fuck is going on tonight and press in code Joey to get your party started. And real quick, this is what the attorneys make me say. Tennessee, Colorado, New Jersey only, okay? I don't want no fucking problems. And if you got a gambling problem, 1-800, go with it. I don't know what it is in Indiana. I fucking forgot. But if you got a gambling problem, take care of your problem. But if not, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and get your party started with fucking joy. I've been telling you this since January, and you're still sitting there scratching your head. The joint is also brought to you by one of my all-time favorites, Onnit. Why? Because if it's not for Onnit, I live on this shit. I live on the pro. You're looking at me going, Joe, you lost this weight. How'd you do it? You want me to tell you? I eliminated night eating. So if I get hungry at night, I just eat one of those 7-gram protein bites, whether it's the coconut almond or the peanut butter chocolate. They're fucking tremendous. 7 grams of protein, 3 grams of sugar. That's what I live off. Alpha Brain is tremendous. Shroom Tech is tremendous. Shroom Tech Immune and Shroom Tech Sport. The protein chips are... Listen, just go to Onnit and read. I can't do nothing for you with the kettlebells and the club bats, but as long as you're looking at supplements and something to eat or the MCT oil, I get you 10% off on your first order. Go to Onnit.com right now. Press in Joey. Press in Church. Get 10% off delivered right to your motherfucking house and get your Onnit experience started, okay? Why fucking get off the couch? Let's do this. Walk in a little Alpha Brain, a little reading, a little journaling, and get your life back. I love you motherfuckers. I want to thank all you cocksuckers for listening and for having my back and for supporting me. And I want to thank Onnit, DraftKings, CBD Lion, and ZipRecruiter for having my back this week. Have a great weekend. I love you cocksuckers. Stay black.